You bastards. Your mother sucks cocks and hell. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is another episode of Gonna See My Friends, the podcast where we what do? We talk about old movies. We talk about movies that touched us. Talk about movies that moved us. Took us into Uncle Touchy's secret garden.
Absolutely.
All kinds of stuff. We talk about all kinds of things here on the podcast. This week, well, I'm here with Toby, my usual co-host. What's up, Toby?
Morning. Good morning, everybody.
And we got a special guest today this week. He came on, was it last season for the Big Lebowski?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Let's welcome David to the podcast. What's up, David?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Let's give him a round of applause, everybody.
Welcome
Appreciate
back,
being back.
Nice.
Oh, we're so glad you're with us today.
Yeah, this is great. I'm excited. This was kind of, me and Toby talked about this last year.
A little bit
about trying to do this movie last year, but there was just so many good ones, and we were new at it. We're still kind of new at it.
Oh yeah.
But this season we had to fit it in the schedule, as they say over the crust pond. It's just, this is just a great Halloween, but you can watch this in any season. And of course, we're talking about the movie The Exorcist, and I'm excited about it because I got a lot of things to say about this. There's a lot of good things, a lot of fun things. But let's get over the basics of this movie. Let's see. Christ.
I'm glad you're using the Lord's name in vain. right out of the chute.
It's 1973 William Friedkin movie about an exorcism. Sorry, about a little girl who I guess is the daughter of a famous actress, and it just kind of revolutionized the modern horror. I think up until this time, horror was like Rosemary's Baby. It was Night of the Living Dead. It was the monster movies of the the old times, Frankenstein and whatnot. But I wanted to throw this question out to the both of you: why do you think this movie has such lasting appeal? Why is this still relevant today?
David?
Sure, yeah. When it came out, I know it revolutionized the horror movie industry because nobody had seen anything like it. And it was for a long time considered the scariest movie of all time.
Yeah.
And it got like a lot of hype before it even came out. And when it came out, like people were fainting, throwing up. Like when people were buying tickets, they were giving out like vomit bags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I know for a fact my uncle who just passed recently, he went and saw it. He ran out of the theater. He was like one of those ones who ran out of the theater when it was playing. So it had like a very visceral effect on the people. And I'm sure we'll get into this point, but the editing process where they like superimpose that like face into certain shots. The blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
I think that added just another layer of the psychological, warfare that the movie actually had on people. And it's like, that never happened to audiences in theaters before. They weren't actually being like attacked psychologically, I feel like.
Do that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I totally feel that. Toby, do you want to say anything?
Well, the one thing that I was noting last night, remember it's 1973.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, there are just the things that the demon is saying are just straight shocking. There's even today, I'm sitting there listening last night and just like, God damn. This is sort of the screenplay for this. And to have a 12-year-old girl lip sync it, I guess, is how.
Right. No, she was saying the actual dialogue on set.
What Linda Blair was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. This is some of the most outlandish things you've ever heard. And since then, I would say.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. It's just a lot. It's that. And also it's taken such a huge risk with, I don't know if this is before or the beginning of the Satanic Panic, but you've got two priests. You're treading into Catholics territory here. There is a real exorcism taking place here. There's the call and response. Having grown up Catholic and been an altar boy, I know what the next words are coming out of the priest's mouth. I mean, it's straight. I mean, the blasphemy of it, if you want to look at it from that point of view. I mean, I think Linda Blair was getting death threats after this because of, they were just like, you're going to hell for this. I mean, this was, it was completely unheard of. Because people were so shocked, they would go home and say, has anybody gone to see The Exorcist? And they're like, oh my God, it's just the craziest thing. And that just made people want to go see it more.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's still taboo in my family. I'm like, I'm going on a podcast to talk about The Exorcist. They're like, what? I was like, I've seen it, since I was like 10, I've seen it like 100 times.
Yeah. I think it has this lasting appeal because I think it harbors back to a time in Hollywood where a lot of the movies that were coming out of this new age of Hollywood, right? Because like Toby, I mentioned this documentary to you, Decade Under the Influence.
That's right. This is the Decade Under the Influence.
So a lot of these movie studios were really being sold off, and Jack Warner and all the old guard were either dying, passing away, or just retiring and selling off the movie lots and businesses. So you had these conglomerates coming in and buying up all these movie studios, but then saying, well, yeah, we just buy companies, well, how do we don't know how to make a movie. Right. So you had this influx of kind of these directors like Scorsese, Coppola, Friedkin, all was what the guy that did Old Man Brains. Anyways, but you had all these directors coming in and saying, hey, look, we know how to make we know how to make movies. So give us the money and we'll show you how to do it. And this was in the heyday of that time. And you had directors and people making movies kind of challenging their audience. This was a decade where they challenged the audience. They didn't spoon feed you every little detail of the movie, and they just challenged them. I mean, you had pornography in the theaters during this time. This was an age of like, let's just do something, see what sticks, and they had no fear in kind of the material. Mm-hmm. You just had auteurs coming in and making the movies that they wanted to make, and I think that we're never going to go back to that time, which is kind of heartbreaking because nowadays I feel like a lot of movies are kind of, especially horror movies. I think I see it in, the Cabin in the Woods last week that we did. I think that those kind of movies are starting to come in because that kind of broke the monotony of the horror movie. Right. And hopefully it's getting back to that place where we're going to challenge our audience and not think that they're idiots, So I think this came out at a great time.
And if I could piggyback on that, I think especially around that time that you're mentioning, I think films started to be like rooted in realism a little bit more rather than like fantastical like sets and like, stuff like that. And The Exorcist in particular was rooted in realism down to its core. Yeah. I mean, the opening scene in Iraq, that's an actual archaeological site that was active at the time. Yeah. There were real priests on set. And not to mention the fact that this is a true story.
Yeah.
Based off of a real case in 1949. Right.
So that's another thing is that this is a movie that's really trying 110% trying to convince you that this is real. And what you were saying to your point about being real, like bringing in realism, is that Friedkin started his career as a documentarian. So his thing was The French Connection as well, which he was successful in before, was filmed like a documentary. Like you had just come upon this scene. It was filmed in natural light, whatever it is, how to make it real. But it was rooted in this realism. And I think that that's why it has such a force, or so powerful for these audiences, because this is a movie that's trying to convince them that, look, you have this kind of first 10 minutes in Iraq, then you have about 45 minutes of seemingly these just normal family, and normal everyday activities, and then the last half hour of the film just kind of goes off the rail, or hour of the film goes off the rails. But if you don't have that that first and second acts, then I don't think this movie works. And so you have to establish that. So yeah, I mean, that's a great point, David.
And all the medical scenes too were real. Like the injections going in, it's all
the
super
MRI
real.
was like what? Like we were like, what is happening here? They're going in through the and then they do the MRI because they didn't have the big General Electric magnetic tube that they go in, and they do an MRI on her just right. I mean, this is this is how it was done. It almost looked like a MASH kind of situation, like a triage kind of situation. And there's blood coming out of the. I mean, there's. You're just even watching how the doctors are operating on her is like, I don't think anybody knew that. Is this how it was done in 1973? I was like, I mean, it seems there's literally blood is going onto the floor. I mean, it just.
Well, it's an exorcism in a different way, right? It's the medical. It's the medical part of it. It's exhausting. Part of that realism is going, okay, well, it's this paranoia, this anxiety kind of moments that are like, well, there has to be a medical explanation for this, and this is what we think, and this is how we're going to treat it.
Right.
Well, the movie gets
you don't think right out of the bat that she needs an exorcism,
right? Which is what the redid Exorcism that came out last year did, was just go right.
Whoa, look at mine. I like that.
Anyways, but that's what the remake did, was like, oh, these are strange. Let's get an exorcism, and that's why. I didn't even watch that movie, and I could tell I was a flaming piece of shit. But it was like, so you have these kind of, you have to go through the mechanics of kind of trying to diagnose what's happening to her, and when that runs out, then that's when you kind of can go, where you have that scene.
It's surprising that they even got to the exorcism part, because they did start. Let's start with the most obvious. Maybe she has a lesion on her brain, or go see a psychiatrist first, and then maybe there's something medically wrong. She could have a brain tumor. I don't know. And they're like, no, you don't understand. The bed is bouncing around the room. Is what I'm telling you.
And then you have the doctor saying it's not the bed.
It might seem like the bed is bouncing around. No, the bed was bouncing around the room. So,
and that works. And the reason why I go back to saying like it's grounded in realism is because, like you said, Stephen, it's like the new exorcism, it's a piece of shit, because they went straight to like, oh, she's possessed. With this one, it's like, well, like, she's not possessed. Like, let's do the real world tests.
Yes.
Have the audience be like, okay, this is a real world thing, and then let's show the bed bouncing up and down. Then let's show her head spinning around.
Yes.
Because it's the realistic, build up to the fantastical or the supernatural, rather. That makes it,
You're right. And the title of the movie is The Exorcist. And as the audience, we're clued in that this is probably where it's going. It would be shocking if there wasn't an exorcism in the movie The Exorcist. But we kind of, the doctors are like, and you're like, they're going to get there eventually. I mean, who's going to be the one to say it? And in the Catholic Church, you can't, just any priest can't just go, well, we need to do an exorcism. It has to come from the top. It has to come from the Vatican. You have to get the green light from the Vatican.
And
and back then there was very rules based. I mean, we're at post Vatican II, Pope John, before Pope John Paul comes in, there's a lot of Reformation that's going on. But the Catholic Church in 1973 was still very old school. And I mean, they just started saying mass in English, for crying out loud. My grandma, priests didn't face the front until the 50s. And then they were given mass in Latin up until, mid 50s. So there's a lot of changes going on in the church at this time too.
Let me give you a little, I looked this up, and I wanted to, since we're talking about the era of which is this kind of movie came out, in the context of the culture at the time. So you have in the 1970 for Best Picture, you have Patton, Airport, Five Easy Pieces, Love Story, and MASH.
Airport.
71, you have The French Connection.
I did say MASH, didn't I?
The French Connection, The Clockwork Orange, Fiddler on the Roof, Last Picture Show, and Nicholas and Alexandra. 72, you have The Godfather, Cabaret, Deliverance, The Immigrants, and Sounder. 73, The Sting, American Graffiti, Cries and Whispers, this movie, The Exorcist, and A Touch of Class. Best Picture for 74, The Godfather, Part 2, Chinatown, The Conversations, and The Tower Inferno and Lenny. I mean, I could go on
What a
and
year
read
that
the rest.
was, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this decade is
this whole decade.
incredible.
You're right.
You don't
Sounder?
see. I mean, dude. I mean, the motion picture industry as it is today, if it were to shoot out these, I mean, 90% of these are classics that you hear on a daily basis, whether or not you're listening to, whatever you're listening to. I mean, it either comes into the zeitgeist in some sort of way that are still being referenced to today. And it's just, the idea, like I was saying earlier, the idea that these were movies that challenged their audience, that challenged kind of you to examine what, The Godfather challenged you to kind of examine where your morality lies, morality in terms of these are gangsters, that you're rooting for. So it was just a great time for these types of movies. And so that's, I mean, I just wanted to kind of put that out there. We're probably never going to see that again.
Well, they all had grit,
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were coming off of a time where everything was like really, I mean, the 60s kind of broke away from the politically correct.
Right.
With like, the hippie movies and what Fonda and, Easy Rider and those kind of movies. Yeah. That's when, like, I feel like realism and grit started going into movies. And in the 60s, they perfected it.
Yeah. And I think that happened. I think what broke that mold, and I love this movie or these movies, was Jaws and Star Wars, right? Because then at this point, Jaws and Star Wars, they kind of recognized, oh, wait, okay, this is a business. We understand.
Right.
Let's get some previews in here. Let's shape it to, George Lucas did a revolutionary thing, which was, I'll give up my usual fee if you just give me merchandising and some other things. I'll get some back end points for this. And they're like,
genius move.
Great. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
And George Lucas was, look, just putting Star Wars on everything.
Yeah.
Like Carrie Fisher said, every time she looks in the mirror, she owes George Lucas like $5. Yeah. but it's like, that's what I think broke this kind of age of the movies, was the realization of these corporations of like, okay, now we know how to do this. It's a money-making machine. Sequels weren't really a thing. Godfather 2 was like, what? We're making a sequel? What's that?
Yeah.
So now everything is an IP and everything has to be a trilogy or has to exist in a universe that's connected to this. And it's
especially in horror.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Horror is, if you don't have a sequel, it's kind of, it's like, what are you actually doing?
Right.
And the 70s, I feel like, was, the birth to like horror. And like The Exorcist might be like one of the founding fathers of the horror industry, because what comes after this? Like
the Texas
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Amityville Horror.
Yeah. Amityville Horror.
Which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those type of movies. And then after those came out, their sequels came out.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
Right after that. Halloween
30.
Right.
is out now.
Right.
And, and they're even, like you said, remaking The Exorcist. I think they just remade it a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Last year, I think it came out, and I remember, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I can't remember, but I remember watching, I went and saw Oppenheimer, and they had the preview for it before that. And I was like, what? Really? And I was thinking, no one's going to watch this. And then when it was over, I heard people in the back, because I was in the first few rows. It was sold out showing of Oppenheimer. But I heard people behind me just going, whoa, oh my God, that looks so scary. And I'm like, you mean you haven't seen this in the last 25 years? Like this movie? They've made this movie like 100 times since, the last 25 years.
I used to love horror movies. And over the last, couple decades, it's just downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, The Conjuring, in my opinion, was one of the last like true horror movies. And not to get off like subject, but that felt like a 70s horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just the way it was like, the lore of it, the way it was shot, everything. And I know it took place in the 70s too.
Yeah, it did. That's supposed to be based on a true story. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I just feel like horror movies now aren't the same as they used to be. And I think a lot of it has to do with, the fact that you're like, I don't believe this.
Right. Yeah. And again, this was a movie that really tried its hardest to convince you that this is real. This is a real thing.
It was real.
Yeah.
It was real.
Technically it was.
We go all the way back. Yeah. I think the thing that makes it gritty and the thing that makes it real for us is that this conceivably could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
This isn't a space monster coming down that's going to destroy the planet and you need to get 3 of your friends together to fly around and smash the big monster. These are things that can happen. All of these you can stumble across the house where this backwoods family is chopping people up with chainsaws. That's why Texas Chainsaw Massacre is scary, because just don't go in that house, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Deliverance is absolutely terrifying for the same kind of reason. You don't go down that river.
Yeah. Don't squeal like a pig.
Yeah. John Borman. John Borman did Exorcist Part 2, which was a total flop,
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Because, I mean, how do you follow this movie?
It's like, you can stumble upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
No. And
the part 3 is, have you seen part 3?
Although part 3 is supposed to be really scary. It's got one of the scariest scenes in horror history.
Yeah, I would say
they're like walking down the hallway. It's like a 2-minute shot.
Well, no, it's the scene. I don't want to. Well, it's been out for 40 years.
Okay.
No, it's been out for 40 years.
Let's talk about this one.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So, I mean, this was a time, this movie was just one of a kind. And so, anyways, let's get down to kind of like the themes and the symbolism of this. Cause I feel like when I was watching this, you saw a lot of the thing that jumped out to me was obviously Karras is going through this bout of doubt, right? He's questioning his faith.
So good.
But he's also photographed, and amongst other people too, but he's often photographed either going upstairs or downstairs, which is kind of this weird thing because it's this thing of, and it's the use of light and darkness too in this thing. But the stairs thing for me was the thing that really jumped out at me at first, because you see him going up the stairs to talk to the head honcho of the church, but then you see him going up the stairs to talk to Reagan when she's in the state, right? And so for me, I don't know, is there anything that kind of jumped out at you in terms of themes or symbolism in this movie that really kind of grabbed you?
Well, I like what you just said about the stairs, because it's foreshadowing the end.
Yeah,
where he does the final roll. So I didn't notice that, but that's a cool point.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, because and the stairs, they play a really big part of this movie.
They do, and if in film class, they will. There's a reason. There's a reason why that device is used.
Yeah,
right.
Somebody's standing on the stairs, and somebody's down, but this person's a position of authority versus this person. So, and then you're right. That's really important. I was really impressed with the special effects in what was happening in Reagan's room, where there was a couple of shots where she's physically moving things around with her mind. But then when when during the exorcism, there's a lot. Nice. There's some shots where I'm just like, okay, now how are they doing this? How are they doing this? I mean, that's levitation, Holmes. She is at one point straight, and there's got to be a a lever back here that they're blocking, and like a little elevator or something. I'm like, I was like, this is really well done. There's a lot of
there's a documentary on YouTube called I think it's part of one of the DVD releases or maybe Blu-ray, but it's called The Fear of God, and it was the documentary on how it was made, the Exorcist.
Oh, I'm sure somebody had to make it, because there's a lot of stuff going on in here where you're just like, how is this? The bed goes up and down, and you're like, is somebody got a pallet jack off site?
Well, it's behind the wall, and he had it on a teeter. The bed, he made it so the bed wants to go up. So if you didn't touch it, the bed would be like this.
Oh, it's like a
so
Murphy bed.
So he's on the side when it's kind of bouncing on the floor. He's just kind of putting effort on it to hold it down. So because the thing wants to go up, he said. He built it so like it's like this. So the moments when it's bouncing, he's kind of like behind the wall. But everything, that dude did everything. He didn't do the makeup, but he did all the special effects. So he did like the armoire coming to
yeah, that was cool.
And him and the makeup artist made the dummies so the neck can turn around. And
let's see what's his. I'm gonna pull up his name since we're saying
the most iconic scene.
Yeah, it's weird.
Makeup is William Farley.
Let's see.
Art department or special effects. Master scene art, property master, carpenter, sound, special effects. Marcel Vercocher.
Yeah.
And Rick Baker. Hey, Rick Baker's back. He's uncredited in this.
Yeah, he was probably like
We've talked about Rick Baker before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, many times.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, the special effects is really I think a selling point of this, because you really had to sell, the exorcism and the possession and all that kind of thing, all those kind of things.
Oh, he did Deliverance. Yeah. He did the special effects in Deliverance the year before this too.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
guy's got some range
to the resume.
That's right.
Well, Stephen, they executed, the tone and the feel of the exorcism so much that, I'm sure you guys heard of the Exorcist curse that happened like after the movie.
And during, I think.
Oh yeah,
during people got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the set where Reagan's room was actually burned down.
Yeah. And they still don't know why.
They don't know why. He said that Friedkin said that if you said that the devil did it, I would believe you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he actually had a real priest come in and say like a prayer like over the cast and crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like so freaked out. Wow. So, they could have been playing with some real stuff.
Okay.
Well, Max von Sydow's, I think, brother or brother-in-law died during the filming of this.
Oh no.
Well, 9 people died afterwards.
Oh, geez.
Like within months after making it, 9 people died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard too.
Should we be doing this, man?
Wait, but
should I have this on in the background?
I don't think you should.
The shot goes in.
There it is. There's the yeah, okay.
They should have one of Patton Oswalt's.
Just to calm everyone down.
Yeah. What were your initial kind of feeling? Like, when did you guys first see this movie?
I saw it in the 90s.
Oh, the 90s?
Yeah, HBO probably.
What did it have an effect? Like, how did you feel when you first saw it?
I was watching it with my roommate, and we were drinking some beers, and we were kind of more trying pretending to not be scared at the scary parts, and just kind of, probably like Mystery Science Theater 3000 it more than anything else. And then there are certain, laughing at what the demon is saying, you're
right.
20 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some genuinely funny things that the demon does say. I mean, let's be honest here. It's awful, but it's the gallows humor kind of stuff. Yeah, I think watched it and then was kind of grossed out by the green pea soup probably. And then I don't think I watched it again for many, many years. This isn't one on repeat for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Christina and I never watched it together. She watched it when they re-released it for the 25 year or 30 year anniversary. She said she watched it with her brother and sister-in-law at their house. That would have been in early 2000s, probably 2003, 30 year anniversary. Yeah. And then she said she hadn't seen it since then. So it had been a long time.
Oh, wow. How about you, David?
Think it holds up, man. I'm really glad we're doing this. Actually,
it holds up.
I just hope we don't drop dead after this podcast.
That's funny.
Sorry.
I was obsessed with horror growing up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but AMC used to have Fear Fest every October.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Horror movie every hour on the hour for 31 days. So my aunt used to put in a VHS and record whatever was playing.
Sweet.
And she finally got The Exorcist. And like, you know, I grew up in a super Catholic family, super strict. So horror movies were kind of, you know, so I'd have to sneak watch them. And I remember getting the first copy of The Exorcist and being like, oh, I finally get to watch like the scariest movie ever.
Yeah.
And, you know, it didn't hold up for me as like a kid. Like it didn't scare me the way I thought it was going to scare me, the way like the effect of like the Amityville Horror, to me, like that was the ultimate like scary movie for whatever reason.
Okay. Yeah.
And I felt like The Exorcist was more like, you know, volatile and like, you know, you see like the injections, you see the vomit, and like, to me, it was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'd watch it again and I started seeing the little inner cuts of like that fucking face.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then I'd watch it again and I wouldn't see it.
Uh-huh.
And I actually got to a point where I was like, wait, was I actually seeing that? Like, is that in the movie? Like to where it was like a psychological kind of thing. And then I started getting more into it. And I was like, all right, this is actually kind of scary because I didn't see that the first time.
Right.
And then the third time I didn't see it either. But like every other time I would see it and I'd like question myself, be like, what movie am I watching?
That's
is this
really
the same
interesting.
movie? Am I seeing that?
Yeah, that was when the director's cut added all that stuff in.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Really?
And, so it was like they're Tyler Durden just like cutting one frame into the movie.
I mean, there's one that's in the original cut. There's one that's in the original cut where she's first getting like treated and she's laying there and she looks and that face, that's always has been in there. But then in the director's cut in the 2003 when they re-released it, they added the spider walk down the stairs.
Right.
So they added those things, those little flashes.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them now.
Yeah, and so for me it was the same thing. Although for me, I saw this probably in the late 80s. So I saw this 88, 89, somewhere around there, and the effect it had on me was the same effect that it had when I would watch like, you know, those what is it, Faces of Death videos and all this.
Oh God.
That little like it scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Wow.
And I saw this when I was probably like 12, 13 when I saw this the first time. And just I can't watch that anymore. Wait, let me watch a little bit of it. Okay. No. It's like the, you know, the thing of like that kind of thing. And I think that, you know, if you're of a certain age of like now, let's say now you're getting into this movie or you've heard all the buildup of like scariest movie ever and that kind of thing, greatest horror movie, whatever. I think we've learned to kind of watch movies in a different way now. We're not as patient. And as this is like, again, back to my original point, which was, I think a lot of this was kind of the idea of challenging your audience. And I don't know if it would hold up nowadays and to people that are just tuning into it now. I'm not saying like us or anything, but just the kids of today, so to speak. You know, I don't want to age myself, but I think that it would probably I mean, I've seen some reactors do this every year. The reactors on YouTube, you know, they'll tune into this. And there was like 2 or 3 that just did not get the movie. And instead were like, is this supposed to be scary? You know, and it was like, oh man, like it just shows you the kind of audience that this is kind of geared towards. Not to say that they're dumb or stupid. No, you know, you don't have to get it. You don't have to agree that it's the greatest, whatever. But you have to understand that in the context of when this came out, what the culture was at the time.
Exactly.
And also what again, geez.
Yeah,
Pazuzu. Thumbs up from Pazuzu. Who's in that room?
He's like, yeah, keep on championing me, man. I don't know. For those of you who are just listening, every time I do the thumbs up, there's these bubbles that come up, and I don't know why. But anyways, so it's the context in which this came out. And I think audiences now don't have, it's the TikTok era. It's the Instagram Reels. It's the, I need everything explained to me or shown to me in 7 seconds or 15 seconds or less. And and then I'm out. And I find myself kind of, when I'm doom scrolling, I find myself saying stuff like that. Like when you have people who are like, well, let's, you know, this is about this. I'm like, get on with it. All right.
Right.
You lost me.
I've been doing that too.
Yeah. And it's, so.
But like you said, with like horror movie, it's a lot. Most horror movies don't run over 2 hours long because you're asking them to sit and watch through. I mean, there's a lot. There's it does build the tension up, but you genuinely, I had forgotten how she'd even gotten possessed. At one point, I was like, the opening scene when they go to Iraq, I was like, no, wait, does he come back with a trick or trinket that then is like attached to a demon? How does the possession, we don't even really, it's not explained to us. And I don't think it was explained.
No.
He is, and they did, again, I was impressed that they did film all that in Iraq. I don't know that you would go to Iraq and film it 50 years later, but, I didn't need everything explained to me. And I was perfectly fine with watching it. It was enjoyable. It went by quick. And boy, there's a lot, the possession is a good hour of the demon is coming out and he's making a ruckus up there, man. And you better go check it out.
Right.
Yeah. David, you were going to say something?
I was just going to piggyback what you were saying about how, kids nowadays might not get it or find it, scary. And it has to do with, what the world was back in the 70s where, a lot, not everybody obviously, but, Catholic and Christian, families and lifestyle was like kind of the norm.
Right.
So like this type of horror movie would have more of an effect on people who are, privy to that sort of stuff.
Right.
Nowadays, it might not have the same effect.
Right.
Plus you have, I looked this up. I saw this a couple weeks ago and it was like the Labubu dolls, kind of look like Pazuzu. So nowadays, if you make
those
this movie now, the
something?
kids might be buying little Pazuzu dolls before they go into the theater.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like it's a different type of we live in a generation now where the villain is propped up
a
little more than.
I was just talking to Toby about that. Or maybe it was Scott on my other podcast. We were talking about pop culture stuff, and what was it? We were talking about Superman, and I thought it was okay. Yeah, I thought it was okay. But it was this idea that have you seen it, David? Have you seen that movie?
I didn't see the new one. I want to.
It's okay. I mean, you may have a different opinion. I said to Scott that I think I've aged out of Superman because I just thought parts of it were kind of silly, but there's I don't want to spoil anything for you. But there's a scene where maybe the crowd kind of turns on him a little bit,
right?
And I told Scott, I thought, well, the unrealistic part of it is that that crowd is probably going to be half and half. It's not going to be totally against him because there's a certain segment of the population now, which is getting amplified. That's yes. Yeah. The bad guy is kind of really getting held up to your point. Right. And so I think that's a good, I forget what my
I think
runaway point there, but
we're such a divided. There isn't anything that all of us can agree on, but maybe Superman is the one thing that we can agree on. I think was kind of the point of Superman, but then it falls apart.
Yeah,
but in this, I think we can all agree that we're not rooting on the devil to take over this 12-year-old
100%. And that goes back to the things you were saying about like the actual words that were being said.
Yeah.
It takes us out. It doesn't take us out. We lose our empathy for, Linda Blair's character, Reagan, in the movie, because at a certain point we're like, well, that's not even her anymore.
You're right. Right.
It's like anything that needs to be done, like, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, that was one of the reactors I was watching was kind of laughing at those points. And now you kind of laugh at it because it's kind of like, you say that to your buddies or, you're out drinking, whatever it is. You're hanging out.
And we've all seen Scary Movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Scary Movie immortalized it. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but I think to watch it and to really, I think the majority of the reactors I've seen, they kind of chuckle, but they chuckle in a sense of like, good Lord, that
it makes
that
you uncomfortable.
It's appalling.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and to hear that coming out of a little girl.
Crucifix and and it takes her mom's head and puts it, and her face is all covered. I mean, this is straight up shocking. I mean, I was like, I can't believe they actually did this.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and that's a question I wanted to ask. Another question I want to ask you two was what kind of things, the remake or the sequel, whatever you want to call it, of The Exorcist that came out a year or two ago was a total bomb, and you could see it, or at least I could see it bombing from a mile away. But what are some things now? Like, how would you approach as a filmmaker? How would you approach expressing that evilness? How would you do evil now? Because now it seems like to David's point, nowadays it's like we're kind of desensitized to a lot of these things that were kind of expressed in this movie. But yet the whole point of it is the good versus evil. We have good now and we see a lot of evil going on now, but I'm talking about in terms of a spiritual evil or maybe a soul kind of inducing evil, where I think a lot of things, I mean, a couple of things come to my mind now that I'm not going to say, but it's like a couple of things that have happened in the last, couple months have really kind of shown us what evil is. And so,
yes,
but not an evil of like, not an evil where it's obvious and that's bad, but an evil that kind of ties us all together. That's a universal evil. That's deeper than what we see.
Then one person being possessed, you're saying, instead of,
I'm just saying evil. What is evil nowadays? Since now evil has become kind of commercialized.
Manipulation, in my mind, would be the first thing that comes to mind. Convincing people to make choices against their own best wishes, their own best interests, and telling them that they're doing it right and that they're a patriot. That's what comes to my mind.
And genocide.
Yeah.
Can't forget genocide.
Yeah.
But Steven, to your point, not to cut anybody off,
no,
about how we would go about doing that today, like making a film to you'd have to do it the same way. You'd have to do a slow burn. You'd have to establish a world where it's realism. You'd have to establish the world first.
Yeah.
Slowly, rooted in realism, and then bring in the evil.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to show an entire world where the audience that's the world.
Right. Yeah.
And you can't escape it.
And
that's how you'd have to make it today. It'd have to be a slow burn. You can't just get to the point.
Yeah.
I do like that you can't escape it part.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I feel like a lot of let's see. I'm kind of not articulate on this, but
does it involve a Ouija board? Because I just remembered we were shown how she was possessed. She has a Ouija board in the attic, and Captain Howdy, and she was down. Okay, so my bad, guys. Thanks.
Oh, but
hit me up on Venmo for any money that I owe you, and I'm just kidding.
No, but you're right, because it doesn't explain how the artifact jumps from Iraq to
Well, I think what I always took away from that, was that this is we're talking about Father Marin and maybe even Father Karras, is that when you're on that kind of path, the spiritual path, maybe people call it religious, but maybe it's different for everybody. But this path of, you're going to have your faith tested at certain times in life. And I think that they refer to it just in passing, but this exorcism that he had done before that lasted months and almost killed him, I think is the same kind of entity that's like, what we talked about, Toby, in The Devil's Advocate, is that evil's never really defeated. It's always just showing up repurposed, right? It's always showing up in these different areas in life. If I can't get you here, I'm going to go over here and get you. That's what I think what these people of faith, they kind of walk this journey on their own path, but they're going to get tested. And I think that was kind of the point, is when he's in Iraq and he sees that thing, for me, there was a sense of familiarity, like, oh no, I'm going to see this again somewhere. And, so it's just, I don't think it could have showed up anywhere in the world. I just think that it just showed up in this girl's house by this vehicle of the Ouija board or Ouija board, or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. And I feel like that was part of the big part of it. And also when Father Karras is dealing with Reagan at the beginning, and he's like, you know, I forget how it comes to, but he says it'll bring us together. Or no, he goes, I thought you didn't want to be I thought you wouldn't want to be exercised. And he's like, it would just bring us together. And he's like, you and Reagan? He's like, no, you and us. And he's talking to Karras. He's saying, hey, look, like my main thing is to defeat you, is to challenge your faith, which almost happens. He's at that point when it comes to as his mother. Hey, Dimmy, why did you do this to me? And he has to leave. And then the mother is like, is she going to die? And then that's when he realizes, like, no, it's kind of like that Rocky moment. Nope, here we go. And I think that fuels him. That's why you get that finale. And so, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the big thing in this movie, is just the challenging, like the devil's advocate. It's that challenging of your faith, your goodness, or whatever it is, because nobody's not totally good and nobody's not totally evil. So, I don't know.
And that's something off what you just said. The title of the movie is The Exorcist, right?
Yeah.
Not The Exorcism. So, like, who do you guys think it's about?
It's about
which exorcist?
I think it's Marin. I think it's about him.
Right. Yeah, I would go it's Karras, because I think really he did find his faith. That's just for me, because he had every reason. He was telling the other priest in the bar, I think I've lost my faith. Yeah. And then he feels guilty he feels like he killed his mom. And then the ultimate test was he came face to face with the devil and was, this is actually real. And that's what helped bring him back. I thought it was his journey. And,
I think
sorry for a spoiler alert, 52 years later, it ended up being the death of him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Marin?
He took it on and said, give it to me. And then jumps out the window.
Flew out the window.
And then flew out the window.
Iconic.
Shocking, right?
Yeah.
So he martyred himself. He absolutely martyred himself for the little girl. So I think it's his journey.
Yeah, I think the reason I say Marin is because they set up the first 10 minutes. Yeah, they set up the first 10 minutes in Iraq. No, I think that's a good choice.
I don't think there's a wrong answer to this, but go ahead. I would like to hear what
I think it's Marin only because they set it up in the beginning as this man who's really kind of like, he's the guy. Yeah, I mean, even the
iconic shot with Tubular Bells.
Yeah, but even the
that's right.
Even the demons, when he first walks
calling for him, like,
Marin! And when he's recording Reagan, Karras is recording Reagan, and it's backwards, and they play it forward. You hear some of the voices saying, Marin! Marin! Fear the priest. Yeah. So, this is a guy that's kind of like, it's good that they had that first 10 minutes, because again, you probably wouldn't feel the impact of when they call him when he's walking in Woodstock, New York, up that little hill, that path. It's like it won't have that gravitas that he brings to his role. So
that's why you need two, a young priest and an old priest and that's what the rules say. You can't be left alone in there.
Yeah.
You need I don't know if it's a redundancy or it's just
part of the ritual.
It's part of the ritual. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool that that's a part of the actual Catholic faith, that there is this, and one came out a couple years ago, the Pope's exorcism
with Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, and I didn't hate it. I mean, I thought it was really interesting, but they really talked, the whole first act of the movie is really telling you, I mean, this sect they've got offices and stuff at Vatican City. This is a real, there's only certain people who are allowed to do it, and they acknowledge that, what do you mean? If you don't believe in ghosts, just ask any priest. I mean, we talk about ghosts every Sunday. The ghosts are real. So it's just, it's kind of, hey, remember, we're dealing with things of a much higher power than us. And like you were saying, Steve, just one last part about that, the evil's never really going to be defeated. You can't destroy the devil, but all you can do is you can't kill him. You can only hope to contain him.
Yeah.
And I think, if we can just beat him back for a while, we've done our job.
Right.
And that's what the Exorcists do is, look, we're not going to banish him to the void. It's just going to be, we're just, you got in the Devil's Advocate, he just loops back around and starts it over again because he's got time means nothing to the devil. Yeah.
He's like, pride. That's my favorite one.
Right. Yeah.
Like coolest line in the whole movie. Vanity. Sorry. Yeah. Vanity. I love that movie.
Oh God. I can't stop thinking about it. We did it.
Yeah.
What, about a month ago? It's so freaking good, dude. Oh God. That's just, all the scenes with
you guys have been doing some good movies.
Yeah, dude. This has been a good season so far. We picked some really good ones.
Let's see. Let's hit our Clay Thompson Award.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Have one. I don't think I had a hard time with this one.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
And since you got I guess we'll start with David. Do you have one, or you don't have to have one? But
I do.
Okay.
I just want to get her name right.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's gonna be Linda Blair's stunt double. Who actually
wow, nice.
Yeah, who actually did the majority of, let me find her name.
No, there's a couple shots of her still in the movie.
Yeah,
when she actually the dude.
Yeah, she does most of the demonic like stunts and stuff like that. Her name's Eileen. I forget her name.
Let's see.
Here, we got it up.
Sorry, you gotta cut this out.
No, we got time.
Yeah.
We can
we'll edit
this
Eileen. Damn, I just had it up. Anyways, once I find her name, I would say she's the Clay Thompson. Eileen Dietz.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So she played like...
There she is. Demon's face, uncredited.
She's like the demon, and she did like a lot of like the realistic stunts, like the crab walk and stuff like that. Like that was her. Yeah. And I think, those contortionist type...
Yes.
Something that we didn't have back in the day with like CGI.
Yeah.
That had a big effect on like, on me. Like, I'm not saying she like spun her head around in real time, but like, I think to give the stunt double the roses in this one is worth it.
Yeah. Toby. That's a good choice. Toby.
God, I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with Jack McGowan as Burke Dennings.
Oh, okay.
He is
a
fucking weird character, man. He is just a weirdo. He gets drunk and he's calling everybody Nazis and Huns, and it's just so strange. And I don't know. He's the one who talks to your cunting daughter.
Yeah.
And that's where that line comes from. And you hear his voice.
Do you know what she did? Your cunting daughter?
Yeah. That's such an iconic... That's his voice coming out of the demon.
And up until the re-release in 2003, I had never realized that was him because she turns her head around. That's what she did to him. Go ahead.
So the demon refers to whenever, he keeps saying us. It keeps saying us.
Yeah.
Because Legion, and that's where you get the I am Legion kind of thing where I'm, they're kind of all like a hive mind. And so these people are living on. Like, maybe you get, shit, what's going on back there?
Shit's going down in the background.
Okay. And that's when you hear all the different voices, you hear Karras's mom's voice.
Yeah.
And you hear the
homeless guy
the guy in the subway.
Yeah.
So they're all in there. And you kind of have to wonder, is this the lie? Is this the deceit from, because, Max always says, they're going to lie, but there's some truth in it. That's what makes lies so terrifying.
Right. Is the attack is psychological.
Yeah. Yes, it's always psychological. So are these people trapped? I don't think that's a whole different discussion, but they obviously, the demon knew that Karras's mom had died and that he feels guilty about it. I mean, you're looking right into the guy's soul. And then comes up with the voice. And I mean, that's kind of terrifying in itself when you're like, you hear your mom's voice coming out of this little girl that's been clawing at her face, and you're kind of wondering if this real, because he doesn't know if any of this is real. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, to hear Denny's voice come out of her was
that's actually picked, my original Clay Thompson Award winner.
Okay, who is it now?
Gonna be Burke.
Yeah. After
watching I'm going kind of the route that David did, which is Mercedes McCambridge, which provided the voice of the demon, who was this
nice one
old actress from like the 40s and 50s. And she swallowed raw eggs and chain smoked, and she was a recovering alcoholic, but she would drink shots of whiskey or bourbon and just did the voice because Friedkin wanted to have this voice based in either male or female. He wanted it to have this kind of neutral effect.
Love it.
And and so she did all of the demon voice and just overdubbed what Linda Blair was doing on set. And it was at one point the director kind of tied her to a chair to have that feeling of getting, because there's that scene where Karras is meeting her first time, and the housekeeper's like, "It wants no straps," and they're calling it, and so they bound her to a chair, her arms and legs, and had her just, oh man.
That's crazy, because that's in the studio. That's all, no cameras are on. This is just in a sound in a sound booth at a wow. That's and is she one of the 9 people who ended up passing away 6 months later? I would imagine.
Oh, I don't know.
Eggs and what was she eating? Gravel,
raw eggs and chain smoking and whiskey.
And she's an alcoholic, but she's been 20 years. She's had her 20-year chip in her pocket, but for this one picture,
that's the power of her faith.
It wins an Oscar for sound. So done. Well done.
It's nominated for 10 Oscars.
Nominated for 10, wins 2. And the other one, the writing, the screenplay was or the original, the book, which I didn't read. I asked you last week if you'd read it.
Yeah.
It's William Peter Blatty.
Blatty, Bill Blatty.
It is Bill Blatty. Bill Pete?
Wait, I didn't realize that Burke Dennings was one of the first people that died after.
Oh, that's right. I didn't.
He didn't look super healthy, though.
Yeah, he didn't. But I didn't realize that.
Could have been a pre-existing condition. Because he was probably pretty drunk. I mean, he was playing a drunk really well, and I'm like, this guy's actually drunk in this scene.
Yeah, he was the comic relief.
I found alien pubic hair in my drink.
You're bowling with Goebbels? And I'm like, what? This guy is a fucking awesome, dude. What is happening?
Hey, I have one request. I wanted to ask Toby this. What would James Mason say as
what would James Mason say?
As Father Karras?
Oh, as Father Karras. I seem to have lost my passion for the Christ. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done James Mason.
That's been a year. You did it last year for like a second. Oh, suppose I can't do it. There's no way I can even come close to that. Great.
I love that he's working out all the time. He's running on the track. He's hitting the gym bag. Pack of cigs in his pocket.
Yeah.
The 70s were wild,
he is
man.
Rocky.
He really,
I mean, same haircut and everything, same outfits. Might be the inspiration for it.
Yeah,
that's a handsome guy. Jason Miller played that.
Yeah,
that's
That's Jason Patrick's dad, and you never see a guy. Yeah, that's his dad. Yeah, you never see a guy wearing the sweatsuits like he did. The gray sweatsuit, the pants and sweater.
Oh, he does. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah,
he died in 2001.
Yeah,
Jason Miller. Okay,
he was a playwright too. He never acted before this, so
that was his first acting. Gig.
Really? Yeah. The Exorcist was his first. He was in Rudy. Exorcist
quite right. David, your device storage is running low.
Yeah, did you see that?
Oh boy.
All right. Well, anyways, we're finishing up anyways.
Okay.
No, it's David's. So
it's probably because he's streaming him. He's got Jason Patrick's dad on the TV behind him.
Oh no, I keep getting this error.
All right, we'll finish it up.
Oh shit.
Well, this was great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
David. Yeah. Thank you for coming on and talking with us. Should we just end it?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You're all right.
It's
you're
the
still
Exorcist
on
Karras.
Yeah, you're still
that's
on.
That's it. I knew it.
Cool.
It starts with one. It's going to start with the youngest of us and work its way up. So I got a little bit of time.
But let's so
100%.
Finish up here. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Next week we're going to have the last of our Halloween series, Halloween movies. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. David, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and Toby, I'll see you again next week, huh? And see everybody else next week. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.